During the first week of Trump's administration, it appears that there is quite a bit of chaos happening in the State Department. Apparently, the entire senior administrative team has decided to resign, and this is a bit of an issue considering the fact that those are highly experienced individuals who usually stay on board whether the administration is Democrat or Republican. So keep in mind that Rex Tillerson is the individual who is in charge. He has been named Secretary of State, so he's inexperienced in this role. And now those who are the most experienced in the State Department have stepped down. Okay, so let me give you the details. The entire senior level of management officials resigned Wednesday, part of an ongoing mass exodus of senior Foreign Service officers who don't want to stick around for the Trump era. Now, before I go any further, let me clarify one thing. There's a little bit of a question as to whether or not they were forced out or whether or not they resigned on their own. However, I'll give you a little more detail into that. It turns out that several of them, actually all of them, had given resignation letters prior to this being announced. So it appears that they resigned, but who knows? All right, so Assistant Secretary of State for Administration Joyce Ann Barr, Assistant Secretary of State for Consular Affairs Michelle Bond, and Ambassador Gentry O. Smith, Director of the Office of Foreign Missions, followed Patrick Kennedy out the door. All are career Foreign Service officers who have served under both Republican and Democratic administrations. Why is this a big deal? Well, in addition, Assistant Secretary of State for Diplomatic Security Gregory Starr retired January 20th, and the Director of the Bureau of Overseas Building Operations, Lydia Muniz, also departed on the same day. So again, all of the really experienced people have left, and this has never happened before. There might be a little bit of a change once a new administration comes in, but you don't have the entire senior administrative team leaving all at once.
Okay, so you have to look for clues as to figure out how this happened and why it happened. So here's my sense of it. One of the important clues here is that they say just days before he resigned, Kennedy, the main guy here, was taking more responsibility inside the department and was working closely with the transition team. So it appears that it wasn't like they didn't like Trump from day one. They had an intention to all resign and do it at the same time from day one. So they wrote the letters in advance, but during transition sometimes people write resignation letters in case the president would like to have new staff. Mm-hmm. So it's unclear if those resignation letters were pro forma or they were specific to this situation. But the fact to me that Kennedy continued to, according to inside sources, was positioning himself for a position there, maybe even a better position, and then all of a sudden left, leads me to believe that it was not that they were just simply politically against Trump or had some sort of moral objections to him, but that something happened there, that the Trump transition team did something to Kennedy that apparently outraged them so thoroughly that all of them resigned together. Because all of them resigning together, that's either a moral statement, because they're like, we're not going to work for a guy like this, right? Or it's, I can't believe he did that to a guy I really like, and let alone what he would do to us. No, that's it. We're leaving. But it is not a coincidence. That's not all these people historically resigning at the same time. Is not like, oh, well, look at that. What a interesting development.
Right. Now, keep in mind, these are also, members of the administrative team that were on board during the Obama administration, right? And so Trump has been very vocal against some of the foreign policy that was implemented by the Obama administration, and particularly the actions of Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. And so, again, you can sit here and speculate as to what happened behind the scenes. We don't know without a shadow of a doubt what's going on. There's the possibility that Trump's crazy and he's just like, I don't like anyone, let's get rid of them. But I'm less likely to believe that just because this is going to lead to so much chaos. And the person who is now named Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, is so incredibly inexperienced when it comes to issues like this.
Yeah, but you're looking at it as if they're rational actors.
I know.
And you're right, I should mention the third possibility is that Trump's team came in and said, no, this is not a matter of debate. You're all gone. So I had, that's, to me, less likely because of what you say, like, whoa, they're going to be, up the creek without a paddle. But remember that Trump came in and told all the heads of the different cabinets, not just the Secretary of State, of course John Kerry's going to leave when Obama leaves, right? But people that were in similar positions in all the different cabinet positions, he told them to get out, pack your bags, I want you out by the end of the day, which is very unusual. So it's also possible that Trump did this. But whatever the reason, it's not good news because these guys are also in charge of things like diplomatic security and consular affairs. And as the experts point out, there is no equivalent of that in the private sector. You can't just go like, oh, that's okay. He's, CFO of Merrill Lynch, and so he knows how to do consular affairs.
No, but it's
no, he
not,
doesn't. Right?
Here's the thing, though. Of course, it's nearly impossible to find someone in the private sector who has the experience necessary to take on any of these roles. But would he pick people who have no experience to fill these roles? Absolutely, I have no doubt. And by the way, just to be specific about how disastrous this is, right? And by the way, Republicans who are always like peeing in their pants over national security should be really worried about this, right? They think Muslims are an imminent threat. We should all be really worried about them. Well, what's happening in the State Department right now? And how long is it taking Donald Trump to nominate individuals for very, very important, roles within the administration having to do with foreign policy, whether it be in the State Department or organizations having to do with national security? Okay, so the officials who manage the building and thousands of overseas diplomatic posts are charged with taking care of Americans overseas and protecting U.S. diplomats risking their lives abroad. The career Foreign Service officers are crucial to those functions as well as to implementing the new president's agenda. So this is, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to turn out, but it doesn't sound good.
Yeah, they're not winning with this. This is a mess. So Rex Tillerson, obviously not confirmed yet, but he is the nominee, and he has absolutely no experience in this field. And now all the experienced people have left the building. So, it's not like we have a president who is vigilant and has done his homework, and he's like, oh, no problem. We planned for just such a contingency, and so we have all these people ready to replace them. No, it's going to be a mess for quite some time. Fix the media. Be the media. Come join us. tytnetwork.com/join.